On this show, we follow the money, and when VSiN decided to launch our own store, the smart money was on Shopify. Getting the VSiN store off the ground was easier than we expected, and Shopify's templates and AI tools had us look incredible and professional from day one. Zero coding required. Shopify checkout keeps sales moving smoothly, and returning customers can complete a purchase in one click. Built-in analytics, you always know what's selling and where your customers are coming from and how to keep the momentum going. When questions come up, and they will, Shopify's AI assistant Sidekick is there with answers so you never lose momentum. You can check out the store at vsin.com/store. And if you're ready to build your own, all you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin. Again, that's shopify.com/vsin.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah. This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss along with Doug Kazarian. Paulie Howard is on vacation this week. We are live in downtown Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Loaded 3-hour program lined up today. Plenty on the Open Championship, which will begin out here on the West Coast tomorrow night, actually. And then obviously Thursday morning, pretty much everywhere else. Russ Reynolds on the program in an hour, his best bets. We have John Hasselbauer on the program today. Dalen Cuff on soccer. Derek Stevens, owner, CEO of this great property. We'll get into the World Cup game. Then we have the match at halftime. The Major League Baseball All-Star game tonight. Pretty active Tuesday here, middle of July. Doug, how you doing?
Yeah, a little soccer game going on. The
kind of a big one.
The one we've circled, right? This is the championship, right? That's what everyone's saying.
Easy.
I'm just ready to hammer against whoever loses this in the third place game.
Yeah, that's kind of the thought, I think, right?
And now odds makers obviously know. So the question is, how much will they adjust?
Well, here's the question, right? Because I read a lot on that today. People with strong opinions saying that Mbappe, like, there's no chance he would play in the third place game.
No.
If they lose this match.
He definitely will.
He definitely will?
I think so. He's going for the goals.
That's exactly what my thought was. I'm like, hold on a second here. You don't think people have said that he has an ego the size of like the galaxy, the Milky Way?
It's like Brett Favre
So
retirement.
he doesn't
you
want to
don't
win
ask
this?
him after the game. Probably
Yes.
after the game, if they lose, he'll say, no.
Yeah, that's exactly
give
right.
Give it a couple days.
Yeah.
Let it breathe.
I would imagine like so if Mbappe loses this match today, Messi loses tomorrow against England, and they're still tied at 8 apiece, they're both going to say, we're good. It doesn't mean anything to me.
Of course not.
So it's been a
look at us just taking the fun out of sports and just looking at betting angles instead of actually with the game that's going on right now.
It's been pretty decent. I would say this is coulda, woulda, shoulda. Do you agree with the penalty that was on France, which allowed Spain to score the only goal of the match so far? If you do not, then you're mad, and you should probably think, or you are thinking, it should be 0-0. I would say that if you agreed with the penalty, then you would have to say that there's actually a pretty decent chance Spain's up 2-0 because they had, and I told you this too, we were watching together in the book here before for the first half. That opportunity that Spain had in the 38th minute, as the diehard soccer people tell me, that was a world-class opportunity, and they just missed another goal.
Well, this is the joke. It's basically soccer crumbing. It's breadcrumbing. That's what a goal is. You get all these amazing edge-of-your-seat sort of sequencing, and then you get it taken away.
Yeah, does it pop or not? That's what it comes down to.
Right, but that's what makes the highlights when there's an actual goal so special and so exhilarating. I was thinking about this, like betting. I haven't bet a ton in this World Cup because obviously I don't know a ton of soccer, but obviously I try to pick my spots, like the angles, especially in group play and Japan team total that one Saturday night, things like that. Betting unders is really hard in this sport because as soon as you get that first goal, everything changes.
It does.
Everything changes.
Especially in this specific version of the World Cup because we have had so many goals late, and a ton of them, I think it's over 30 that have happened beyond 90 minutes.
Well, that's just, I'm talking more, once you get to the knockout round, obviously group play is different, but
right.
I mean, this game, I'd be betting over 2.5.
You feel comfortable with that? I wonder, so Spain has been so good. They've only allowed one goal so far in the entire tournament. That is unbelievable, like historically good defense. What is their philosophy? And they actually, I thought, were trying to score more goals in the first half to go up 1-0, go up beyond that. Do they change the philosophy here in the second half and just say, no, too good of a defense. We're going to park the bus, so to speak, and let's just keep France off the scoreboard, and we're totally happy with a 1-0 win.
So my understanding, that sort of park the bus would occur in the last 15 minutes. I think Spain still has to keep their foot on the gas, because you can't just park the bus against a team like France for an entire second
It
half.
seems difficult.
And also, this reminds me of kind of peak Georgia-Bama SEC, when so much stats were accumulated during the regular season back when Vandy was terrible and some of these other teams were just nowhere close to them. And odds makers had to come up with player props for the SEC title game. And it's like, how do these wide receivers are going to play a full game for the first time all season, because they were killing opponents, back in the two-a-days and those Alabama team totals.
Yeah, they're probably out of the game in the third quarter.
Right, so and you don't know the game plan because it's going to be such a different script. So here, yes, Spain's defense has been incredible, and it's not easy because other teams have given up goals to inferior opponents, but they haven't been playing France all tournament. So I'm expecting a goal from France, or I'm expecting they're going to just extend themselves so much that they're going to leave themselves vulnerable on the back end.
Okay, fair enough. $1.90 on Spain right now to qualify. That's at DraftKings, and there was just some movement as I speak on the three-way. Spain just moved from $1.30 favorite on the three-way at DK to $1.20. France is plus 380. Are you in? Does the draw? Is it speaking to you right now at plus 225? Maybe you can find higher than that.
Yeah, that is. The over 2.5 is $1.45 minus $1.45, so I could see certainly 1-1. I just think you get a goal, and then things could still open up. I don't think they're going to play super conservatively. I think they do that. In the last 8 minutes of regulation when there's a tie game.
Yeah, but also don't forget about the hydration break. So maybe if you just wait a couple of minutes here after halftime, that over 2.5 juice will come closer to even money. You can factor in that hydration break, and France really then goes balls to the wall. And then you can get maybe even money on over 2.5.
Like a tactical reset, so to speak?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like their third win, so to speak, I guess, for the match. And they realize there's no tomorrow here. This is it.
Yeah, I think they're comfortable. You're right, because it's going to take a while till they go all out, because their status quo of attack is still pretty lethal. So they don't need to be vulnerable in the back end in order to score a goal, so to speak. Have they had many chances in the first half? Not that that's always indicative, but just from a schematics, is Spain's defense sort of neutralizing that overwhelming offense with such speed?
Overall stats so far, Spain has had possession 55% of the time. They've had Spain now, speaking of them, 5 shots, 1 shot on goal. France, 2 shots, 0 shots on goal so far. 0. There was I'll call this like an exquisite gamble by the goalie late when Mbappe leaked out, actually. I think he was still onside, and that would have been an easy goal, but he came all the way out of the goal to kick that ball because I think he realized, if I'm going to be one-on-one with Mbappe, I have no chance of stopping him. And if he misses on that gamble, that's going to be the equalizer right there for France.
I was hoping I'd get better odds at next goal Spain, and it's only plus 175.
Oh, okay. Okay, I like where your head's at.
Yeah.
Just in case.
No
France,
second goal, so this is our final, nearly 5-1. Yeah.
Boy, don't you think? So you think the France offensive attack wins out here? That's the best in the world compared to Spain's defense, which has been the best in the world in this tournament.
I think we're in the second half underway, obviously. I think we're likely to get scoring because of that first goal and when it occurred.
Okay.
And who had it. Right? I think Spain having it opens the game up.
Yeah, totally fair. So we'll keep you abreast of the entire second half here over the next hour, maybe plus of the live betting numbers. Some best bets here at VSiN on this match. Steve Wiss was on the program yesterday. He really liked the over 2.5, small ladder on over 3.5. Chris Vasily was the exact opposite. He liked under in this game and under tomorrow. Nigel had Spain to qualify plus 130.
So to go through?
Nigel Seeley to qualify today at that play. And that actually kept going up. I think plus 130s were available before they started the match.
Spain has looked like the better team.
I would agree.
It's only a half. Things can change. But so far, that's how I would assess it.
Takeaways from last night's home run derby. I was on the right player in the wrong market. I had Jordan Walker to have the longest home run. That went to Junior Caminero. I did not have Jordan Walker to win the event, which kudos to those of you who did. He popped it at 7-1 or higher, and the in-play number against Schwarber was massive. He had to homer in his final 6 swings.
Did I hear that right? Schwarber was bet so much it was down to like plus 130 at some point?
Oh, is that right? He was that big of a...
It was what, $3 when we had the show yesterday?
Yeah. Well, I noticed this. I mean, before this is on the way home, on my way out of circuit here. Ben Rice at some books moved from like plus $9 to higher than 11-1.
I heard that.
And so our conversation with Chris Bennett yesterday here at Circus, like I took a little on 11-1 just because I'm like he didn't win, but if they had this thing 11 different times, does Ben Rice win one of them? Maybe. I thought it was worth
Why
a
wouldn't
bet.
he?
Yeah, sure, he could. So at that number, like what's the difference between him and some of the other guys who are priced at 4-1 or maybe a little bit lower than that?
I didn't go fully deep on this because I had other stuff going on, things like that. Was there any sort of horrible pitcher or anything like that that they brought? Anything that was just the giant egg laid?
Oh, people were mocking Rice's pitcher. Yeah, I think it was his dad. It just like it was his dad. It was like Mariano Rivera out there throwing the cutter to him. And I know that he was like, when I was on social media watching it, just like, yeah, people just can't get enough of this and ripping on the guy. How about Bryce Harper hitting the problem gambler sign last night?
Poetic.
The timing of that could not have been any better.
Former coworker of mine at ESPN had tweeted that picture. It's so good. So good. They couldn't even take it down either. That's because it probably got a lot of camera time, right?
Sure.
I mean, that's part of the,
Well,
I
plus-
would imagine, the sales package. Whenever they sell, they say, hey, All-Star Game, Home Run Derby is at our stadium.
Yeah, like what do you think that company is paying for to advertise in that exact spot? Probably a lot of cash.
I mean, it's all brand awareness, all this stuff. I mean, it goes back to, I always use the example of Jeff Gordon with the DuPont car. I need to paint something. I'm not a home fix-it guy. Once in a blue moon, I'll need to walk down the aisle at Home Depot to buy some paint, and I see DuPont. I'm like, oh, that's a name brand.
You know
I've
that
heard.
one.
Right. It has nothing to do with Jeff Gordon in my head, but subconsciously, I feel like it's a good brand.
Mm-hmm. You're not a big DIY guy?
No. I know the perfect sort of apps to use to pay someone to do it, though.
Just as important, I guess, right?
Yes, TaskRabbit, all that stuff.
Yeah, there are certain things around the house I feel pretty comfortable with. Other stuff, no chance.
I put together a bookshelf that took all night that I was pretty proud of.
That's pretty good.
Bare hands of assembly.
Not bad. Up next, we will dive into tonight's Major League Baseball All-Star Game from a betting perspective. We'll look at the Yerfy-Nerfy from previous years. Total runs scored, first 5 innings, all coming up here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets. On this show, we follow the money, and when VSiN decided to launch our own store, the smart money was on Shopify. Getting the VSiN store off the ground was easier than we expected, and Shopify's templates and AI tools had us look incredible and professional from day one. Zero coding required. Shopify checkout keeps sales moving smoothly, and returning customers can complete a purchase in one click. Built-in analytics, you always know what's selling and where your customers are coming from and how to keep the momentum going. When questions come up, and they will, Shopify's AI assistant Sidekick is there with answers so you never lose momentum. You can check out the store at vsin.com/store. And if you're ready to build your own, all you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin. Again, that's shopify.com/vsin.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
It is all over. Spain 2, France 0. Done. How about that? I don't even know what France was to not score a goal. Under a half a goal, Doug?
I tweeted my followers to see what that was because I'm as curious as you are. Remarkable.
Oh, amazing. Doug Kazarian in for Paulie Howard this week.
You get 2 goals from Spain and you can't cash over 2.5.
Or the both teams to score. We go out to the progressive guest line to begin the hour. We will get best bets for the Open Championship from Wes Reynolds, one of the co-hosts on a very popular podcast here at the network called Long Shots. Wes, thank you. You had the both teams to score in this match. Is that correct?
I did. Zut alors or Sacre Bleu or whatever French slang you want to go with. They do not get on the board because I was hearing all week. It's like, oh, man, their B team can make the World Cup final. Well, when you're against the best defensive team in the tournament, so very impressive performance from Spain.
No doubt.
Makes Belgium's goal that much more impressive.
No kidding. Okay, so to the Open Championship, your write-ups are awesome. At vsin.com. Congrats, by the way. You're coming off of Tom Kim this past week. What number did you have Kim at?
I did not. I had him in a placement. I did not have him in an outright. I bet him in an outright like 2 or 3 times. Okay. So I would like to get the credit for it, but unfortunately not to be. But played very well. I just had him in the placement, not the outright.
Okay, I thought you had him outright, but placement still pays a pretty nice number in that, obviously, for him. Let's begin at the very top. Matt Fitzpatrick has had an incredible season to date. I am pondering a bet on him in the top 10. You can find like plus 165. How hot and heavy are you on Fitzy this week?
Yeah, I'm very high on him, and I think a lot of the market is as well, as you've seen kind of that gradual shortening over the last several weeks. But he fits all the trends. You know, I've already won this season 3 times, in line for the Player of the Year, but he hasn't really been a factor yet in the majors. Hadn't played poorly, but hasn't really been right there. It kind of faded away at the U.S. Open when he was paired with Wyndham Clark on Saturday. But all the stats, he clicks the boxes. Number 1 on strokes gained approach on the PGA Tour. Number 1 strokes gained around the green. Really good at scrambling from the shorter grasses too, because that's what you're going to get here at Birkdale. You're not going to get a lot of the thick stuff necessarily around the green, but there's a lot of short grasses where if players do hit their approaches in the fairway bunkers, you're not reaching the green, but you can maybe get it close. And that's where Fitz really excels. And it's really been the putter, Mitch. He started off so cold in California and on the West Coast swing, but now he's gained strokes in 9 of his last 13 starts, had 4.5 strokes gained last week on the slower greens at Renaissance. And you're going to see slow greens here again, maybe slightly faster, about 10.5 on the stimp. But that's what you're getting here at Birkdale. I just think he fits it. When this is about accuracy and approach play, he's as good as it gets and has been as good as it gets this year. So Fitz needs a good finish in a major. He hadn't had one yet. I think he gets it this week.
Furthering that thought process, and obviously you have a great article here on vsin.com under the golf page, as Mitch was just alluding to, and I know there's a sort of Venn diagram to this all, and it's hard to kind of put it into words, but almost one of those, explain it to me like I'm a fourth grader. How do you sort of extract, other than Fitzpatrick, some of these other guys, how do you figure out who to pull the trigger on when there's just so many guys capable of catching lightning in a bottle?
Yeah, and it's been difficult for me this year, Doug, in terms of, it's all timing. And a lot of it is timing and luck. Like we were talking about Tom Kim. Been on him a couple times this year, and you could see it coming. And then you kind of get into a love him and leave him type of thing, and you leave him off a card like last week. And what happens? He goes out and wins. So, it is part of golf betting, the FOMO and looking through it. But obviously, you take the normal stuff. I don't think you really change the process. Just if you're not landing on the outright, you go with the recent form. You go with the statistics that you think are going to be important. And then sometimes it's going with your gut a little bit too. It's not just necessarily model. It's, go with your hunch. And that's what I did with a couple guys this week.
Well, let me flip it here. If your model this week would have been super high on a player that you don't have, does your brain come in and just say, God, I can't do it. I can't back that guy at this number. Not gonna.
Yeah, it does. One guy that I really considered this week, who I think certainly could win, is Jon Rahm. And you're looking at those prices. He's almost like 28-1 at a couple shops at Bet Rivers. It's like Jon Rahm's too good of a player to be that high. He is a high caliber player. I know he's not in the best form, and he popped on some of the statistics, but it's like, ugh. I wasn't able to get there with him, and I could be famous last words because
sure.
He certainly is. He's certainly drifted to a price that I think where it's like, wow, at this price, it's almost like you want to buy the dip, but I did not this week.
Do you like Tommy Fleetwood this week at the Open Championship?
I do, even though I hate the current number where it is. I think 19-1 is the best number at DraftKings right now. He probably, from a true price, Mitch, should be at like the high 20s range, like 25 or 28, because he doesn't have the win equity. So you're paying the hometown tax, right? Because he is from and was born in Southport, England, where Royal Birkdale is located. So you're getting that hometown tax. And that would be, I think, the most popular story in European golf if Fleetwood finally got the major championship win in his hometown. But he's been consistent, 14th everywhere. No worse than 14th, I should say, in his last 5 starts. Number 1 in scrambling, number 3 around the green, number 6 in driving accuracy. So this really kind of fits his wheelhouse. And I think he's putting together consistent golf where he's kind of peaking at the right time, but he's been a little bit of an outlier because he has not gotten to the winner's circle yet this season.
You know, you've mentioned a couple books just in this conversation. I think that's so important for our audience to recognize. They're all going to move numbers based on their liability on certain guys. So you should really be focused on picking off rogue numbers and getting the best value with these guys, because once you do hit them, you need them, all those units. Along those lines, though, there are markets without Scotty. There are markets without Big 3, Big 5, depending on the book. I'm a big fan of those, and it's not all or nothing. You can chop it up, much like a parlay in baseball. You have 90% of your parlay on money lines and maybe 10% on all run lines or something like that. I like chopping it up when you have Big 3s, Big 5s, and something like that. What is your approach when it comes to that when you're not betting some of the shorter odds like Fitzpatrick or someone like that?
I do that sometimes as well, Doug, and that's a good point by you. And I think one of the books I mentioned, DraftKings, like they've got to be heavily exposed on Scotty because they've got the probably the worst number if you want to get the bigger price in the market at plus 650. So that tells you that other guys get bumped up because of that. So sometimes I do the winner without, and Scotty certainly could win any week. He's a defending champion from Royal Portrush last year, and I'm not necessarily selling him because he missed a cut. I don't think that that's the worst deal in the world. And you've seen guys play well the next week at the Open if they didn't play well at the Scottish the week before. But he'd just been a little bit off, I think, from the superlative standards that he's had over the last 2 years. And, just hasn't won in about 5 months, really since late January, early February. So, no, I'm gonna go ahead and try to take on Scotty and Rory this week. And both could certainly win, but I think there's a lot of guys that could win. I think this is a wide open major, and the market really indicates that.
I just tweeted your story out at Mitch Moss Radio. It's up at vsin.com. You can follow Wes on X as well at Wes Reynolds 1. He is on the Progressive Guest Line. And we'll try to get to all of the guys that you have, obviously, in the story. Because you have quite a few, as you know, making the case for a lot of. Is this a bigger card than you've had maybe with compared to some of the other majors this year?
Probably, because I really couldn't, it was like a tie with a couple of them. So it's like, okay, do I just go ahead and play both of them? Because I had a couple guys in the middle of the card that I felt were just like right there, like between Robert McIntyre, Tyrrell Hatton, and Victor Hovland, who I ended up leaving off because this is short grass and I think he chips better out of the thick stuff, but he certainly could win here. But I went with McIntyre and Hatton instead of Victor Hovland, even though Victor is going to be very, very popular this time around. So I'm going with 2 guys that have been close, haven't won majors yet, but certainly have a lot of experience winning on links golf. Robert McIntyre trying to be the first Scotsman to win the Open since Paul Lawrie did it with the John Van de Velde collapse in 1999 at Carnoustie. And then Tyrrell Hatton has become close. T3 at the Masters, T7 at the U.S. Open. Also, like a lot of guys in this field, Sam Burns, Colin Morikawa, recent fathers. So sometimes that changes your outlook, and guys play well when they have a seminal moment in their life, get married or have a child, and all those guys have. So we'll see if maybe that tempered the demeanor of a hot-headed Tyrrell Hatton, but he's played very well this year and also does have a win at Valderrama on Live. So he kind of fits that pattern that we've seen at the Open in recent years.
Yeah, it's all part of the equation for sure, the human element to this. I see you got the authentic Open hat on. You wear green jackets the Masters week. I appreciate all of it. You said that you expect this to be pretty wide open. Now, we haven't seen long shots win really that regularly. Obviously, Aaron Rai this year, earlier in the season, but for the most part, it's been some pretty big names. You mentioned already Scheffler, the defending champ of this event. Why do you think this specific year and this specific course will be wide open?
Yeah, and I think in wide open a relative term because you are going to get experienced players that have had success, and all the trends would indicate that. So everybody's kind of looking for that Todd Hamilton or that Ben Curtis. Remember those were long shots that won the Open, but those don't happen very often. Even Brian Harman 3 years ago, 150-1. He had been runner-up in a major before, so he wasn't a total non-proven commodity. So I think when in doubt, you got to lean heavier on class players. And there certainly are some in the short range and also in the mid range here.
Yeah. Your longest shot, we have less than a minute here in this segment, but your longest shot is a guy who I have bet this year a couple of times, and it's Maverick McNeely, 115-1. I'm going to probably have to piggyback that. That seems like a really good number on him.
Yeah, and I didn't think I would be betting him. I was looking for somebody a little bit north of 100-1 to have one bomb on the card. He's posted career best finishes in all three majors, Masters, PGA, and the U.S. Open, so why not a fourth here? And it's really a short game, Mitch. 8th in sand saves, 14 around the green, 19th in strokes gained putting on the PGA Tour this season. I think he's going to like this place. And I know he doesn't have that run of form like great U.S. British Open finishes, but he's going to be a surprise, I think, this weekend.
Wes, can you hang on for a couple more minutes here?
You got it.
There's another golfer on your card that I have heavy interest in, and I want you to talk us through this coming up next here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Yeah. Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Thanks for checking in here on a busy Tuesday. Mitch Moss along with Doug Kazarian. He is in for a vacationing Paulie Howard. We are live as always downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Spain advanced to the World Cup Championship by defeating France today 2-0. Ultra impressive performance yet again, and much more on that match and tomorrow's other semifinal as well as we go to the progressive guest line. Dallin Cuff joins the program now with Turner Sports. Dallin, thanks for the time as always. We appreciate it. Your takeaways overall from what appeared to be, we were live on the air for most of it, but what appeared to be a pretty dominating performance out of Spain today.
Yeah, guys, it was thoroughly impressive. I talked to the guys in the morning yesterday. I liked the under because I thought Spain could control the game, but I thought France's explosion would be there. I thought their ability to hit on the counter would be there. I thought their prolific their four that they have up there with Mbappe, Doué, Dembele, and Elise would be just difference makers, and they weren't. I mean, Spain's their ability to control the game offensively, I think we all know that and respect that, and that has helped their defensive numbers. But their ability in the defensive side of the ball today too, it almost like they took the hearts of the French players. They just kind of demoralized them, and it was comprehensive from kick to finish. And then France had the flurries late, and like I said, those was on the under. I thought this was no way this is going to cash. I thought for sure we were looking at least 2-1 in the chaotic last few minutes, but they held. I mean, Simon made a couple big plays, came off his line aggressively when it got tight late, but. That was as much a comprehensive performance that we've seen this entire tournament. They have not looked the part the entire tournament France had. Today, they made France look very inept, which is hard to do.
Yeah, and it looks like Spain was about plus $5 to win 2-0. So here we are. Don't want to be recency biased, but they are minus 150 here at Circa to win their final match, the World Cup, and then $1.55, $1.60 elsewhere in the market. Obviously, they await the winner of Argentina or England. Don't know who they're playing, but what reason would there be to not wager on Spain to win?
Because this is soccer, Doug. This is the thing this is not like the NFL, NFC Championship game felt like it was going to be the Super Bowl last time around. We all did think that, honestly, with the Western Conference Finals, the NBA, and that sure as hell didn't play out like that. But those are series in that sport. And then football is kind of like world football in the fact that one game, anything could happen. In any moment can change the match. So here you could make a rationale. I think Spain is going to hoist the cup. I think they are better than either one of those teams. And they're on the other side. So I'm not making the argument to bet against Spain. I'm more so making the argument that if you want to take some value, and I would take England more than either. If it's Argentina, I can't make that argument. I can't just go with Messi magic and you'll do it again. They've survived too much. They have not played well, and they've had some amazing calls on their side. There's been a lot of things that have supported them to get to this standpoint. Whereas England, I feel like they fought their butt off. Good call last game too, but they outlasted Mexico with 10 men in the Azteca. They then go and a sultry, steamy Miami, come back from 1-0 down to win. Bellingham's played out of his mind. You still have Kane, that's an elite scorer. Thomas Tuchel has made sure that team is relatively defensively sound despite some of the injury issues they have had. I can make an argument for England without a doubt. I don't think I can do the same thing with Argentina. That's too much a Messi-reliant situation that I don't want to put my chips in. I would more so look at different props. I would think those games tend to be tight. 2022 is one of the greatest finals we'll ever see in our life in any sport, and that's not normal. So I would look at I'll wonder what the over-under numbers will be on 2.5 goals. Look at different props to play. But in terms of the match, if it is England and Spain, yes, there are reasons to take England to hoist the cup based on the value, based on the number. We'll see what that actually looks like. Because Argentina, I can't do it. Spain is a better team, but any one moment, any one goal changed the entire thing, and that's why football is just different.
Well, it's all matchups. It's based on who they're going to be playing, obviously, and the team that they have in front of them as well. So making your case there for England against Spain potentially. Then what do you make of the match that we have tomorrow? As I'm looking at DK right now, England just moved from $1.20 to $1.25 to advance, and on the three-way they're plus 170. The draw plus 185, and Argentina 2-1.
Yeah, I like England to advance, and that number's come down a little bit since yesterday. I saw it at 135 yesterday, so seeing that come down a little bit, I understand why the public wants to go with Messi. I understand why America in particular would go toward Messi when you look at some of our books. But I think England, again, is the more comprehensive team, and I feel like they have more weapons to score. They have a more clear-cut identity as who they are. And I like the fact. Now, I do wonder about their legs at this point. Now, both teams have played extra time games, and Argentina's come back drama against Egypt. They battled against Cape Verde before that, and then, of course, survived Switzerland in a game that, again, they got a red card call that helped them. And if that doesn't happen, I think Switzerland wins that game. I think England is a much, much, much better version of Switzerland. They are organized defensively. They have world-class players in different positions. They have guys that play in high-level environments, high-leverage environments all the time, which I think in this tournament kind of gets lost. Especially when we go back to think about the U.S. team, a lot of those guys had not played in a game that big before. England's playing back in the World Cup final again, which some of these guys played in that World Cup semifinal again, like they did in 2018 when they lost to Croatia. They played in European Cup semifinals. They played in European Championship finals. They haven't got over the hump yet, but these guys have this big game performance experience. They know what this is about, and a lot of the guys on the field have already been there. And some of those have matured into bigger roles. Bukayo Saka has learned from his failures. Jude Bellingham has learned from his failures. Kane is still the leader of this team in terms of offense. I think there's just a team that knows who they are with more weapons to do it. Argentina, obviously, a lion's share of those guys won the Cup in 22. They look like a version of that team that is still very Messi dependent. They've had a ton of defensive errors throughout the knockout stage and put them in jeopardy time and time again. And if you make those errors against a team of England's quality, they absolutely will make you pay. And I don't feel like this team is comparable to the English team. Now, Messi may do what Messi does, but I do think Thomas Tuchel will have a good plan for him. Switzerland did. There were constantly bodies around him, usually 3 guys around him at all times. Messi to get an assist, I think, is more likely than Messi to get a goal in that match just because of how much gravity he will pull in that game.
So there's a lot of speculation about this third place game. Obviously, France is dejected. It's pretty fresh right now. We'll see come for the weekend who suits up, and they're kind of, but it factors into the futures market here and the top goal scorer here. Lionel Messi now $1.75 at DraftKings. Mbappe plus $2. I think if you want Messi, like it's almost better if they lose because they don't have to face Spain defensively. But then what kind of effort and focus will he have in the third place game? Harry Kane's plus 900. The tiebreaker in this market, as we all know, is assists. How would you play it with this obviously third place game? Such an unknown.
Well, Doug, if I'm playing it now, are you asking if I'm doing this right now or who once we know? Okay, so if we're doing it now, I'm still looking at Messi in that situation. I just gave you the argument why Messi would lose the game to Argentina, so I'm not going to change that. And the difference is this very likely could be the last time he suits up for a meaningful Argentina game. Now, there are rumors that Copa America 2028 will be moved to America like it was in 2024. So all the South American teams play here, and we being the U.S. and 4 or 5 other teams from our region, the North American and the islands, CONCACAF region, is invited to that tournament. Messi may play again in a tournament that matters. Copa America matters a ton to South Americans. It is a huge deal, just like the Euros is a big deal for them. So maybe he plays in that, but we don't know. This will be his last World Cup game, though. This will be the last time he suits up for Argentina on the world stage, which we all kind of identified this in America. Maybe we hadn't thought about it before. Like the entire world is watching these one game at a time. Like when they played Cabo Verde, 2.7 billion people were estimated to watch that game on the planet. It's more than a quarter of the people on the planet. That's wild. So this is the last time in that stage. I feel like he's coming to show out. And we have seen in past years, the third place game can get crazy because there is no more pressure. You have guys that maybe haven't logged as much minutes on the field. They are still high-level players that are looking to hoop because it may be the only time they ever say they played in a World Cup game. In 70 years from now, they want to be able to say, I played in a World Cup game or scored in a World Cup game. That counts. So I think if Messi's situation, if he loses, he and his team will put forth an effort. I don't know what we're going to get out of France. Honestly, they are dejected. They have now their depth is crazy. So the guys that haven't played that much, that probably will play in that match, probably want to hoop. They want to go show out. So you might get something from them. If it is their starters, their first team, I don't know what you're going to get for them. So I would lean more toward Messi in that situation.
Fair enough. Dalen Cuff, our guest, Turner Sports, talking World Cup. He's on the Progressive guest line. Dalen, we have a couple of minutes left here. The other player award market that we have would be, well, one of the other ones would be the Golden Ball Award. I was making the case for Jude Bellingham yesterday. I bet him a little bit more than 4-1 to win the award. I think he's been the best player in the tournament. And I actually, to me, Spain winning today absolutely helps his cause because they haven't had really one player so far who's been truly dominant throughout the entire tournament.
I think your logic is sound. I was talking about some of this on one of the shows the other day about Bellingham being the best player in the tournament so far. So that Golden Ball market was interesting, and now that was the concern is if Messi wins and Messi goes on, that how that thing works. There are, like everything that touches FIFA in the World Cup, there are politics involved, there are a bunch of other crap. So if he gets himself to a final, even if he loses, which has happened, you've seen this happen before, you can extricate that from his hands potentially if he loses to Spain. Because to your point, you're really not giving it to Lamine Yamal. I don't think that's really it. You're not giving it to Oyarzabal. And another midfield has been good, but Pedri at times didn't even start. Rodri's great, former World Player of the Year. He's been impactful, but has he stamped his name on this game, on this tournament that much? That's a stretch to me. So Bellingham seems like the obvious play, and not just because of the big goals he scored. He still has patrolled the midfield very well. He still puts forth a hell of a shift in terms of their defensive effort, especially in that game in Mexico. He was great on both sides of the ball. So he has shown very, very brightly when they needed him most. So it's almost like the Heisman race in America a little bit. You need those moments. He's had his goal-scoring moments, but you have to be consistent, too, and perform in every game, and especially as a midfielder on both sides of the ball. So I feel like his effect is, without a doubt, evident to anybody that's watched the game even for a little, from novices to experts. And if he can get past this game, he seems like he is very poised. In win or loss, you could see it happen. The only difference would be if Lamal has a massive game in a final and scores 2 goals. Again, those things where superstars and other stuff factors into how this thing goes down. You never know. And sometimes they give it to the supposed best player on the winning team. But you could easily make a case for Bellingham, even a losing effort, if they get that far to be the Golden Ball winner.
I hope it comes to fruition. Dalen, you've been amazing throughout the entire tournament. Thank you. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Best of luck, and the games that we have coming up over the weekend as well.
All right, fellas. Good talking to you. Good talking to you, Doug. Later,
You
man.
too, buddy.
There you go. Dalen Cuff.
I might have a bigger banger than Spain. The Golden Glove.
You found the Golden Glove. Wow, because I'm still looking for the Golden Ball. There's only like one offshore book that I can find. Okay,
I gotta text people who know soccer.
Okay. That's next. I can't wait to hear this angle on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
On this show, we follow the money, and when VSiN decided to launch our own store, the smart money was on Shopify. Getting the VSiN store off the ground was easier than we expected, and Shopify's templates and AI tools had us look incredible and professional from day one. 0 coding required. Shopify checkout keeps sales moving smoothly, and returning customers can complete a purchase in 1 click. Built-in analytics, you always know what's selling and where your customers are coming from and how to keep the momentum going. When questions come up, and they will, Shopify's AI assistant Sidekick is there with answers so you never lose momentum. You can check out the store at vsin.com/store. And if you're ready to build your own, all you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin. Again, that's shopify.com/vsin.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
This is pretty cool. If you're betting at Circus Sportsbook for a limited time, you can fund your wagers and contest entries with crypto using BurraPay and pay no BurraPay transaction fees. It's fast, secure, and another way Circa continues to innovate for sports bettors. Visit BurraPay.com to learn more and take advantage of fee-free crypto wagering before August 31st, exclusively at the Circus Sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino. BurraPay transaction fees waived as part of campaign. Standard cryptocurrency network and exchange fees may apply.
Great timing. The owner and CEO of this great property, Circa Las Vegas, Derek Stevens, joins us now for his regular Tuesday hit. Derek, great to see you. Has BurraPay and has it been popular?
Good. Yeah, we've gotten a couple now. So it's we did the first one with Bryce Hall when he did what was it, 5 or 6 Bitcoins or something on that first day, and
he was betting UFC, I believe, right?
Yeah, it was UFC.
Fights, yep.
And then we've done a few more. We had someone that came in and did a full house yesterday because you could use it for our contest as well.
Oh, beautiful.
So they did I think 10 Circa Million and 10 Circa Survivor. So that was kind of a cool little thing. So yeah, it's out there.
Not bad. You were at Stadium Swim just now for the France-Spain match?
I was not at Stadium Swim.
Okay.
I was I'm struggling with this thing, my day job, so I was in meetings. But we had the surveillance cameras up, and cabanas were full, and it was nice. A little hot outside, but
a little warm.
But compared to what it would be like on a normal Tuesday, my God.
Book was packed. You're going to be sad to see this tournament end.
I absolutely am. I mean, I've told you I caught the fever like you did, and I'm already worried about what the hell are we gonna do next year? And God forbid something happens. I can't figure out baseball. We're in trouble, man.
Oh, don't say that.
We had Chris Bennett on yesterday. He said a lot of new signups, so to speak, for the UFC card the last weekend. Obviously, the World Cup's drawn similar sort of activity. What's been the most surprising element to all of this?
I think we didn't really understand the impact that I think the international fans would have on our country. And I think it created this early on version, when Scotland was in and they outdrank Boston and things like that. There was these great stories. And this Freddie guy that no one, like all these other crazy things that happened, it kind of brought our country together a little bit on the,
I would agree,
on the 250th birthday of our country, and I thought it was pretty amazing how it all kind of gelled together, and it was a ton of fun. I mean, I think this is the one thing, like I've been up front. I've never really was a soccer fan, so to speak, but I thought these games were exciting. They were fun to watch. They were fun to bet on. The whole deal.
What about a wagering perspective? Were asked to take a huge limit bet on a random prop? I mean, did anything stand out? You said, gosh, I haven't seen this before.
No, we took with the largest bet we took was, no, I would just say we took the largest bet we took was $750,000. We took a bet on that. We sold most of it back. It was because this is a very liquid market. So this is really easy to get buyback. So, we took that $750,000 bet. I got a lot of, oh, you're buying during. I'm like, well, wait a second. I mean, it's not like we won $750. We sold almost all of it back. So, we saw a little bit. Wagering, I know different, maybe different books. Sports books have different perspectives. Wagering for us was okay. Lots of smaller bets is what we saw.
Yeah.
Great crowds.
How it's Saturday night? The crowd here for McGregor and Holloway. Do you want McGregor to fight again?
No, I think it was pretty kind of self-evident. We went in, we needed Holloway, the book needed Holloway. We all kind of thought Holloway was the only way to play it, and we ended up doing okay. Father Time is something in UFC. You got to just be careful, and it's unfortunate because I think the probability of something happening again is high with McGregor. I mean, we've seen this before. And I don't know that you want to have too many events where people were paying these type of prices before they get bitter. You could deal with it a little bit, but, you go back to the undercard in the Patty fight. That, I get it, but you can't. You take the last 2 fights and they last a total. They don't last that long. It's not the greatest experience,
Does that happen here? By the way, the public that shows up, the property is absolutely on fire. They're betting McGregor, obviously, at almost any price. Do they complain? Do they look for refunds, by the way, something like that?
No, that's an online thing. I mean,
is that only an online thing?
I don't know. For us, I mean, I'm not, I'm not on any group text that I had with Mike Palm or Jeff Benson or Chris Bennett. I think there's a certain element of you come to Vegas, you bet your ticket, you got it, it's civilized. So McGregor goes out in 30 seconds. I mean, I think this is more of an online type of thing where you do these ridiculous refunds. I mean, anybody that took Holloway, they didn't say, "Hey, am I going to get paid?"
Right. But overall, the handle on that fight had to have been
that was good. Yeah, that was good. I mean, UFC is great. Yeah,
right. Yeah. Today is the first day with that baseball prop with Guerrero versus Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
That's a Chris Bennett. That's a little insight. This is like when they brought it up to me on Friday. Like, these guys just thought it was the cutest little thing to do, and Mike Palm and Chris Bennett are bantering back and forth. I'm like, what do you think of it? I said, I don't care. Yeah, it's not really that relevant.
Just book it.
But it's
a two-way line.
Do your thing. Yeah, it's a two-way line.
It could be free advertising because you get big names. We learned this when the Houston Astros, right after legalization, Houston Astros got a slap on the wrist with the trash can thing, and then certain books put up props with who's going to be the first Houston Astro to be hit by a pitch. Starting with game one, opening day, not spring training. And then how many in the first game? 2.5 over under.
Right,
so then you get free publicity. It's not even like you don't have to pay for the advertising. So there is an art to this, right? With the big names involved?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of fun associated with it. And I mean, you would think, will one of them hit 20? I mean, no. You don't think so, huh? Okay, here we go. Now the debate's on.
Tatis is no. I mock every day what the price is on Tatis to homer that day. I just like plus 350, 370, 320.
You think it should be more like 8-1?
Yeah. He's homered in 4 games.
Yeah.
Well, you're a big baseball guy, Derek. You love the home run derby as well. Was that a popular betting event here last night?
Not really.
No? It has been in years past,
It has been in years past. I don't know. Were the ratings up or down?
That's a great question because it was on Netflix.
Yeah, I mean,
good point.
I don't know. I've heard one side and then I've heard the other, so I'm not really sure. I mean, the home run derby has grown the last 10 years in a row, and it's something I think that Major League Baseball has and is now bidding out separately from their regular packages. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. I mean, they're copying the NFL, but when the NFL did it, they're giving away wait a second. NFL's not in the same category. People are going to, this is a little different here. I think you might have alienated a few home run derby fans.
Interesting.
That's fair.
What about the All-Star game tonight? You seen some pretty decent action on this one?
No.
Nerfy?
That one will probably pop a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I could pull it up right now, but I mean, it's not even on my dashboard. This is the day that I think most sports fans zero in on for a different reason. They zero in on this is the day where you take your spouse out to dinner. This is the day you put the phone down. There's limited windows.
Right.
I
play the long game.
I
put in equity. Sweat equity.
I mean, come on, is there really positive EV in this game? I mean, how do you do it?
I could not bring myself to bet the Derby last year. Occasionally, I'll take a flyer on a long shot because I think it's an inefficient market. It's a random, right? You're right. I put the phone down mostly.
When I grew up as a kid, I grew up in Detroit, American League City. This was one of my only opportunities ever to see these National League All-Stars.
Yeah,
and
true.
It was something. But nowadays, it's different. Now you get to see everybody. So it's just a little bit of a different thing compared to what it was a long time ago.
Well, I think on that note, like in this racket, behind the counter, bettors, whomever, I think they target this week specifically as like one of their biggest weeks to take a vacation. Don't you think, right? For those who have a wife or kids or whatever it is, they're just like, yeah, this is that time what you guys are talking about to where I'm not going to do anything sports betting related. We're going to go away. We're going to spend some time on the beach, and I'm not going to be on the phone the entire time. This is the week to do it.
Sure is.
Try to pretend you're not a degen or whatever.
Yeah,
like
pretend.
Try to pull the wool over the spouse's eyes.
How are you out right? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, hey, I got something for you coming up pretty soon. I got to see the first couple episodes of our Circus Survivor show.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
And?
I'm liking it.
Okay.
I'm liking this season here. It's going to be a 7-episode season. We'll have more coming out next week here. But we're going to start releasing them in July.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
How happy are you right now with the pace that you're at for the 3 contests?
I think we're pacing pretty well. I mean, we had our 4th Circuit Grandissimo yesterday. We're having another big day today. Circus Survivor is pacing very, very strong, and Millions is pacing where it looks like it's a favorite to maybe not have an overlay.
Is that right?
It's right about there. Right about
Okay.
there.
And Survivor is like pacing ahead of previous years?
Yeah, way.
Way. Good to see you again. Have fun. Enjoy the All-Star game tonight.
Thank you. You too.
There you go. Derek Stevens, owner, CEO of Circle Las Vegas. We will get to our best bets in pocket plays coming up next here and Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.